Hello on YouTube, on Twitch, and welcome to another episode of the Hearthstone Let's Play series. This is Northstar. Hope you're well, taking care of each other and being kind to yourselves. New viewers, check out my YouTube channel page, or returning ones who haven't done this before. I have so many different games, so many different series, some of which, if you watch one of the ones that I haven't gotten enough views on before, I'm more likely, or that I took a little break from, I'm more likely to return to it. Either because it finally has enough viewers that I figure something's worth continuing, or if I'm taking a break, just incentivizes me to come back sooner than I was planning. I really tend not to ban anything forever, but some of the series needed my subscriber count to grow some, so that I have a respectable number of views in each video. The algorithm, I think there's like a diminishing returns. It's easier to get a video from 10 views to 40 than it is to get from 40 to 70 kind of thing. It's like tiny numbers. Occasionally I have a video, it's like 480 views, but a lot, or 70 views, or 160 views, but a lot of them are sitting in the 30s and 50s. It's very sad numbers, but the algorithm punishes socialists like myself for streaming even when I'm not talking anything political. It just, there's no question that YouTube is shadow banning the left. Not really full ban, but soft censorship, reduced view counts, reduced visibility for people on the left, while it pumps fascists, because Google, which bought YouTube, has revealed its hand that its new leadership, it used to have "Don't be evil," but its new leadership is like in bed with a certain country in the Near East that's been committing the G word, and accusing college students who protest of being quote anti-Semitic, which is an outright lie. And yeah, they're in favor of the U.S. invasion of Venezuela, and they've even soft-pedaled about invading Greenland. Google has gone full-on evil, and YouTube is one of their products, and so they do censorship. It's actually less blatant than some of the other platforms like X. Now TikTok, the US is forcing to be sold to this Israeli billionaire, because it's only going to get worse, and the US doesn't allow... We claim we believe in the free market until the free market is leading to a product like TikTok that's saying things we don't like because of a Chinese who expat to actually Singapore, so he's not really Chinese, he's actually a Singaporean immigrant. A Singaporean billionaire we don't like owns a platform, so we're going to and is allowing left-wing content, so we're going to force them to sell it to a far-right billionaire. It's not free market. That's a load of nonsense. It is capitalist, though, because capitalism is not free market. It is billionaires. It is private ownership that means production. That's the defining feature of capitalism. Or sometimes state capitalism is actually still capitalism. It's shareholders. The defining feature of capitalism is there being state shareholders, a small number of shareholders who aren't the workers. You're not required to be a worker to be a shareholder, like in a workers' co-op, who own the vast majority of the means of production, either through government, where a few politically connected billionaires basically control the government, and then take for themselves through kleptocracy, like in Putin's Russia. That's state capitalism. It's very much still capitalism. Or actually Sweden in the early 1800s, way before it became a social democracy, that was also state capitalism with a constitutional monarchy as the form of government instead of a full democracy or republic. It can be like fascism, that's actually still capitalism, or it can be liberal democracy capitalism like the United States, but they're all forms of capitalism. Socialism is either democratic socialism with a free market, like workers' cooperative capitalism, what Chile was working towards when the US couped them. It can be something like the French communists wanted, partially state-owned, partially workers' cooperatives democracy. It can be fully state-owned democracy capitalism, or it can be authoritarian socialism, usually with state ownership, like most of Soviet history, or with workers' cooperatives, but still authoritarian, like Gorbachev's version of the Soviet Union, which he was trying to also introduce more elements of democracy. So Soviet system was nominally democratic, but didn't actually work that way because it was a single-party state, and you can't have real democracy with just one or just two parties. The U.S. is not a democracy either. Anyone who just named a democracy, liberal democracy, or supposedly a liberal democracy is in the categorical term, but the term is inaccurate. The U.S. is a plutocracy. It's an oligarchy controlled by the rich. Studies, there was this famous, it was like a MIT study that proved this, pretty much, that it's only the interests of the top 1% of the population that are represented by policymakers, that and of the corporation. So it's a plutocracy since the corporations are controlled by that top 1%, so it's really just an indirect mechanism where ordinary people, if they own a lot of stocks, some of the people who are not quite powerful enough to influence politicians directly have a little bit of say through either trade unions or the shares they own in a corporation, but most of the voting power in a corporation still is by billionaires, and trade unions have very little power compared to billionaires, and individual citizens outside of their trade unions have zero influence, pretty much. They also did a study in Germany, and while it had a little more influence for labor unions, it was broadly speaking the same thing, also an oligarchy. A lot of the so-called democracies are really just oligarchies controlled by the rich. Now, real democracy can exist, even under capitalism, but it's hard to do that. You have to break up large monopolies. You have to set very high tax rates on the rich. Arguably, the U.S. strove towards that, never reached it. Maybe some of the Nordic countries might be considered true democracies instead of oligarchies. But broadly speaking, most so-called capitalist democracies are just plutocracies controlled by the rich. Whereas the Soviet Union was a bureaucratic oligarchy, where it was controlled by just a few people who were high-ranked in the Communist Party. But it wasn't one-man dictatorship. Like, even Stalin didn't have absolute power that people claimed he did. He could and regularly was overruled by his ruling council. It was really a ruling council of about 14 people. I think it was 13, because so that they, like the Supreme Court has 9 justices, they said it that way so there couldn't be ties. So I think it was an odd number. Maybe it was 15. It was like 13 to 15 people who made all decisions in the Soviet Union. And one had more power than the rest, that being the premier, like Stalin. But he actually could and very often was overruled by the rest. People could abstain, and he had a tie-breaking vote, so it was worth more. But it was not democracy. 13 people ruling a whole country is not democracy. It was a Soviet air quote republic. But it was really party elites that controlled everything, which was still led to more equal economic outcomes than almost any capitalist country in the world. I say almost because there was one capitalist country that had greater levels of wealth and income equality in the Soviet Union. Sweden, during the Cold War, had higher levels of equality. Soviets had higher levels of equality, though, than Finland, Norway, Denmark, so they actually exceeded most of the Nordic countries, but Sweden managed to actually do better than them at that time. Inequality has gone up a lot in Sweden since, so they're not that level of inequality more. Equality more. I think Norway might actually be higher levels of equality than the Soviet Union was. Norway is more equal than it was in the past, and Sweden is less. Anyways, looking here, I should most focus on enemies that attack directly, because they'll take damage when they attack. I could wipe them out fastest. This thing does 7 damage, 12, but I could actually deal with Varian Worm faster. And if I go after this one, Fathomord, because he also does 12, Samoro should actually adapt into a caster. Boom. Make everyone faster next turn. Or let's see, anyone else who attacks directly? Oh, and could be diverted. It's really this guy. I don't want them to focus on Valera, so I will probably taunt here. The lowest health enemy would be Lady Anaconda or Fathom Lord. Oh no, it'd actually be the Maestra. Alright, I'll just Phantom Knives it.
Job's done.
Yep. Okay, they're actually going for Samaro. Boom. Wait, oh, she got Serpent Bit. That's what happened there. I was like, what? Where is pretty beat up? Samara has so much health. So she needs to do a Sinister Strike so she can hide now. See how white hurt. Then she can Sinister Strike. She'll attack Caster, she'll take 4 damage. Be hidden, so Serpent's Bite can't finish her off. Blessing the Tides, 2 attack, gain +2 attack for each friendly Naga. So 1. If this merc has less than 20 health, gain 4 attack. Oh, so Fathom Lord's gonna get a lot nastier now. Worm Blades. Be immune. If they're attacking, immune. So hint immune, this will focus all the damage and carry out. The Spud detonates, it won't be there in the final boss battle, for better or worse. I'll repair the fuse. I'm pretty sure it won't be there. Okay. As no one goes down, I'm good. The attack there was mainly of relevance for Fathom Lord's retaliation when attacked directly. Restore 7 health to a character in this mark. If it's a beast, also get +7. So a lot of healing there. Lowest health enemy that's visible, so that would be Samoro. Right, I could take down Lady Anaconda or just not. Taunt 2 turns. Try and take down the Spud while it's on this side. Need to do 23 damage. 9 and 18. Yeah, that'll do it. Double strike it first. Crusaders blow. Damage at worst. That would not take Flora down. Although then she'd only have 3 health. She could target it again. This has speed 6. She could hide before it. So we just finished the fight. You know what? No. What I don't want is them detonating the Spud on me. Maybe I just wait by my time for a turn. That's probably smarter. I'm not looking to deal massive damage. Should probably probably turn him into a protector again. We'd have to attack something. Oh, it can target a stealth character? Oh no. Shoot. Well, there was no way to avoid that then, other than taking him down. Which I could have done, actually. Could I have? Oh no, because some more... I think I could have double struck. Yeah, I could have taken him down. Shoot, I did not realize that... Well, you live and you learn. So much for Valera's progress.
My eyes for vengeance!
He'll last, for sure. Oh well. Okay, they'll go after him. The Cataclysm with bolts. No. Speed 6. Oh no, they'll actually go for this. Oh, what if I give some the Spud? Could Steel Light Spud, yeah. But no, I'll just give Fortress, I'll be fine. Whirling Blade him. Fuse and Aimless Assault, I guess.
Job's done.
I guess this is Spud. Serpent's Bite when it becomes immune. Does not trigger. So I'm gonna go for him again. Damage that would be tough. So like heal. I'm up to 10 health before I'm good for one more turn. Seal Blight. This will prevent the Serpent's Bite from killing him. Because he'll be immune. Damn his turn. One Blade. Boom. It's a shame that Blair went down. I realized she could still be targeted while stealth, or I would have maybe planned the fight out differently, but Fan Knives is a pain to train up anyways. Okay, I can buff all elves. Blair's banner, he's not going to be working on him anymore. I don't think. Well, she's been defeated. Oh, Aimless Assault gives +5/+10 before attacking. That's better. Raven the Hunter. Boom, final battle here.
The hunter.
Yeah. Fire Spirit Wolf. This is Spirit Wolf, Spirit Guard, whatever, it's a part one. Death Rattle for your characters, +5 attack. And Wind Fury with the Wind Spirit Wolf. So whipping on characters
I fight.
cause problems, to say the least.
I hear and
These two are just
obey.
passively training,
Done.
but they can swap in if one of the mains goes down here. Which could happen. Attack. Attack. Swipe. Deal 8 damage to enemy and 2 damage to all others. Okay. He's likely to go for Samoro, because fighter. If I turn him to a protector, or just taunt for now. Now let's do 4 damage to him. It's actually better just to go for the hunter than the spirit wolves initially. Turn to a caster type. I'll make him vulnerable to these, because I'll keep the taunt up. For bulks and untyped. Not sure I want him to be potentially hit with swipes, so I'll just. These are gonna go down anyways eventually. Unless they target him because he's got less health. Could end up attacking Spud, that would be not great. But he'll gain the aimless assailant buff at least. Sail White to make certain I don't lose him too soon. One blades.
Job's done.
And that. Spud has Wind Fury and 5 attack. Oh, that's funny. Attack enemy also damage adjacent enemies. So we'll go for Cariel. We'll be able to do 26 damage there. Adaptable combat. Deal massive damage, ensure I don't lose. I'm thinking that was gonna one with the crit. That was gonna double. Whoopsie daisy. Could have probably did more grinding of focus and discipline, sure. Or Curtis, whoever, he didn't. He could have gotten his aimless assault too. Amash, Curtis, Vanessa Van Cleef. Amazing Hellwood. Right, story for the minions. Damn knives. I made invasion. Oh yeah, you know he needed to I-beam anyways. What am I saying? I forgot about that. He'd already done his aimless assault. So actually, he just needed to reach all 15, so it was irrelevant. And I wasn't. Valeria's down, so she couldn't fan him, and that's it. Yeah, there was no reason to delay that fight. Whoops. Unless I wanted to fit one of these two in. Which I did. Okay, so I could use the same training party again. Some more can now do this. Progress on it, anyways. Fan of Knives, Fin Invasion, and I Matey. Cariel is there as a support. And he's here to gain XP. Okay, the Anointed Blades. First, let's equipment grades. I have to do this both for the party and generally. He hasn't unlocked I-Beam yet, but he will. He could mid-adventure if he reaches level 15, so. And it's nasty each time he uses it. Deal damage or restore that much health to the merc. Yep. Samoro. Upgrade Roaring Blade. No one needs to do it for any reason other than winning. But it's going to be his nastiest ability. Except when he gets adaptable combat from treasure, which doesn't happen every time. And although Burning Blade can eventually be better, Blade 10 damage to all enemies and immune. That's very good. Murkai has Dolphin Navigator. What I really need is Giant Fin. Save the points. From me, I think I got a few points here. Can upgrade Rewind or change the timeline. 5 damage or gain 4 health. Probably damage. 1, 2. All I really use is change the timeline before to level up. When she reaches level 30, I'll get the Stroke of Midnight. Activate change the timeline for 1 turn. As about right, it goes on cooldown for 2 turns. So she always gets this at the beginning. Extra health. If I use it instead of Chaos Theory. Defeating Nether's Strike Fight in Blackrock Man and Heroic. Body Euphoria. What? I got some guff coins there. Still not 125, so nothing I want to do. I know it patches now as iCapping. Needs to use iMatey first. Yogg is giving up to improve his lunatic days. Cool. Do the Fellwoods again, then maybe I'll do some heroic bounties after this. Since this will get me this, and this, and then I could just try heroic. Well, I did this so that next time I roll quests, I may be able to roll heroic. I don't know how it works. Once this reinforced, the Fellwoods become the heart of the Legion's corruption in Kalimdor. Fellwood has, it should say the Fellwood. It's a gram ratio, but... Alright. Gromosh would really benefit from this. If I had Gromosh. In the party. I don't. Yeah, let's rearrange the training party in a way that makes more sense to me. Samora just needs to be present. Doesn't even have to be in the... Just the Cariel. Gaining XP always has to be present somewhere in the party. You can't do anything to level 15, so it's Valyrian. It's these three that should actually... The bench warmers, if I have a sufficiently easy fight. So the B team. Yeah, actually, I don't need to rearrange them. Although... One blade, one. I think you can have different seps with different. He's got. Should have one blade equipped here instead, which can be upgraded. Good. Probably need the primary party for any heroic bounties. The training party just not be up to the task. See what I did there? Task. Winter Spring. The valley is an uninviting land of constant winter and unique, i.e. undead, wildlife. Alterac Valley. A heated struggle in a frozen valley. The Alliance and Horde collide in battle for the ages. Nyx's lair. Nyx's stolen the shards of Naru, traveled to the caverns to reclaim them, and hoped to escape the wrath. Dark Shore. Murlocs and Naga are just the beginning of what's troubling Kalimdor's shores. Sunken City. Zinashari, sent beneath the ocean 10,000 years ago. What mysteries we uncover. Lots of Murlocs. The Dark Moon Troop. Don't let the excitement of the carnival deceive you. There's more here. Meet the die. Huh, a lot of different places. Alright. The Anointed Blade. Next video, maybe I'll think of something I want to change with the party setup before I do. Yep, next video. Hope you all have been enjoying this. Do come back. I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind yourselves. And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. I do.